Hi, everybody. It's Miss Mitchell here today on this wonderful Monday, May 11th. I hope you guys are all doing well. You had a good and restful weekend. I'm here outside today. It's a little chilly, but not too bad. It's starting to warm up. It's definitely warm in the sun, which is nice. As you can see, too, there's some beautiful rose bushes coming in the front of my house. So those are nice to enjoy. So make sure you get outside today to enjoy some nature around you. We're here today to read the first part of Encyclopedia Brown. And our case today is the case of the secret pitch. So I hope that you have your detective minds ready to go. You're ready to think like a detective, and hopefully you can solve this case, just like Encyclopedia Brown we know will. All right, so here we go. The case of the secret pitch. Idaville looked like any other town of its size from the outside. On the inside, however, it was different. 10-year-old Encyclopedia Brown, America's Sherlock Holmes and sneakers, lived there. Besides Encyclopedia, Idaville had 3 movie theaters, a little league, 4 banks, and 2 delicatessens. It had large houses and small houses, good schools, churches, stores, and even an ugly old section by the railroad tracks. And it had, everyone believed, the best police force in the world. For more than a year, no one, boy, girl, or grown-up, had gotten away with breaking a single law. Encyclopedia's father was the chief of police, and people said that he was the smartest chief of police in the world, and his officers were the best trained and the bravest. Chief Brown knew better. His men were brave, true enough. They did their jobs well, but Chief Brown brought his hardest cases home for Encyclopedia to solve. For a year now, Chief Brown had been getting the answers during dinner in his red brick house on Rover Avenue. He never told a soul. How could he? Who would believe that the guiding hand behind Idaville's crime cleanup wore a junior-sized baseball mitt? Encyclopedia never let the secret out either. He didn't want to seem different from other fifth graders. There was nothing he could do about his nickname, however. An encyclopedia is a book or set of books filled with facts on all subjects. Encyclopedia had read so many books, his head held more facts than a library. Nobody but his teachers and his parents called him by his real name, Leroy. He was called Encyclopedia by everyone else in Idaville. Encyclopedia did not do all his crime busting seated at the dinner table. During the summer, he usually solved mysteries while walking around. Soon after vacation began, he had opened his own detective business. He wanted to help others. You guys remember that from the first one? This is part 2 of the series, but if you remember in the first Encyclopedia Brown, he had opened his business, and that's how he started solving some crimes. Children seeking help of every kind came to his office in the Brown garage. Encyclopedia handled each case himself. The terms of his business were clearly stated on the sign that hung outside the garage. One morning, Speedy Flanagan, the shortest fastball pitcher in the Idaville Little League, walked into Brown Detective Agency. He wore a face longer than the last day of school. "I need help," he said, side-arming 25 cents onto the gasoline can beside Encyclopedia. "What do you know about browning?" "Nothing. I've never browned," replied Encyclopedia. "But once at the beach, I tanned something awful and—" "I meant Robert Browning," said Speedy. "The English poet?" No, said Speedy. "The American League pitcher, Robert Spike Browning." Even Encyclopedia's Aunt Bessie knew of Spike Browning. He was the ace of the New York Yankees pitching staff. "What do you want to know about him?" asked Encyclopedia. "Do you know what his handwriting looks like?" asked Speedy. "I made a bet with Bugs Meany, my bat against his, that Bugs couldn't get Spike Browning to buy a secret pitch for $100. "Whoa," cried Encyclopedia. "If I understand you, Bugs bet he could sell Spike Browning a special way to throw a baseball?" "Right. Bugs and his father were in New York City the last week in June," said Speedy. "Bugs says he sold Spike Browning his cross-eyed special." "You'd better explain." said Encyclopedia. The pitcher crosses his eyes wherever there are runners on first and whenever there are runners on first and third bases, said Speedy. That way, nobody knows where he's looking, whether he's going to throw to first base, third base, or home plate. The runners don't dare take a lead. The secret is how the pitcher can throw the ball someplace while staring himself in the eye. Bugs sold the secret. He has a letter from Spike Browning and a check for $100. Phew, said Encyclopedia. I understand you now. You figure Bugs wrote the letter and the check himself to win the bet and your bat. So do I. Let's go see Bugs. Bugs Meany was the leader of the Tigers, a gang of older boys who caused more trouble than itching powder in Friday's wash. Since setting up as a detective, Encyclopedia had stopped many of Bugs' shady deals. The Tigers' clubhouse was a tool shed behind Mr. Sweeney's auto body shop. When Encyclopedia and Speedy arrived, Bugs was leading a discussion on how to beat the bubblegum machines around town. The Tigers' leader broke off to greet Encyclopedia. Get lost, he said. Not until I have a chance to see the letter and check from Spike Browning, said Encyclopedia. Bugs opened a cigar box and passed Encyclopedia a check and a letter. So here we have a picture of Bugs grinned as Encyclopedia read the letter. Encyclopedia read the letter. Yankee Stadium, New York, June 31st. Dear Bugs, your cross-eyed pitch is the greatest thing since the spitball. I expect to win 30 games with it this season. For sole rights to the secret of it, I'm happy to enclose my check for $100. Yours truly, Spike Browning. The letter was written on plain white paper. The check, bearing the same date as the letter, was drawn on the First National Bank for $100. Spike will win 50 games this season, said Bugs, and I won one baseball bat from Speedy Flanagan. So where is it? Where's your bat? Corrected Encyclopedia. Speedy won the bet. You lost. The letter and check are fakes. I ought to shove those words down your throat, said Bugs, but I'm feeling too good about what I did for the great American game of baseball. Bugs crossed his eyes, humming to himself. He went into the secret throwing motion. The other Tigers cheered wildly. Man, oh man, sang Bugs, I invented the greatest pitch since Edison threw out the gas lamp. No smart aleck private detective is going to walk in here and call me a liar. Oh, yes, I am, said Encyclopedia. Spike Browning never wrote that letter. That check is a worthless piece of paper. What made Encyclopedia so certain? We're going to turn to page 87 for the answer. I'm going to give you a couple of moments here. Comment if you know the answer, or text, or whoever, share it with somebody around you. How did Encyclopedia know that the letter and the checks were fake? Does anybody have any guesses? How could he have figured it out? Any guesses? Let's see if you came up with an answer, and let's see if it's how Encyclopedia solved it. Here we go. The solution to the case of the secret pitch. I have to do it on my knuckles for a second. Wait a second. The date was June. Did anybody remember the date? June 31st. January, February, March, April, May, June. June falls in a crevice. That means it only has 30. June doesn't have 31 days. Did you figure it out? It might be hard if you're not looking at the page to figure out all those specifics. Encyclopedia knew instantly that neither the letter nor the check was written by the Yankee pitcher Spike Browning, nor by any grown-up. Both the check and the letter bore the same date, June 31st, but no year was given. And there is no June 31st. June only has 30 days. Shown the errors, Bugs could do nothing but admit having writing the letter himself and check himself. As the loser of the bet, he had to give Speedy Flanagan his baseball bat. Did you figure it out? Did you realize June only had 30 days and there is no June 31st? I hope so. All right, tomorrow we'll be back with our next case, and it will be the case of the Balloon Man. Interesting. I will see you guys all tomorrow. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.